Hi there, this is a video on web optimization for scenicgems.com. If you go to scenicgems.com/demo, you'll get a map that looks like this. I'm currently in development. There should be map markers all over this, and there will be by the time that you load this page. And on this page, there'll be 7 blue markers, and each of them, when you click on them, goes to a page, and that page, should I say pages like that, all are based on the same kind of template. So clicking from the map on one of those blue markers will bring you to a page like this. So we've got one of the locations, which is Flinders Ranges, and it's essentially this is a slider evolution, and this is Essential Grid. Both are by ThemePunch, and the two plugins get used extensively on these pages. This is an Instagram feed, a customized version of an Instagram feed plugin. We've made many modifications to this plugin. Back to a slider evolution, Essential Grid, Instagram feed, slider evolution, Essential Grid, Instagram feed, and on it goes. So essentially there are 95 pages like this one, and on the demo page, those markers, those 7 markers that I mentioned, which aren't visible, but they will be by the time you see it. They're available absolutely free. People can check it out as a demo. Then they can unlock 95 pages like this one. So the format of basically the entire website is based on this page. It's just replicated and replicated time and time again. So if we can get one of these pages optimized, most of the website will be optimized. The home page and the map page, they're not really going to be indexed by Google. Like, people aren't going to be searching for them, but people will be searching for Flinders Ranges, the best free things to see and do. And all the other locations. So these are the important pages that I want to be optimized. They're also the most content heavy. They've got a lot of images in them. So right now I'm just going to talk about the setup of these pages to give you a heads up on how they are set up. Okay, so I once had these performance reports pretty good, but I don't know, with further development, things have sort of slid. So need to focus on so that, you know, the score's not that great. So I'll go through these and give you some little heads up as I go. So the first one is server resources from a consistent URL. So we've got Bunyuru Valley Lookout, Flinders Ranges. So 1360 by 720, it's a big image, and that image, Bunyuru Valley Lookout, is that one there. That's the big image. Now, if I go to plugins, there's a plugin here called Adaptive Images for WordPress. So essentially, this plugin places this little, I don't know what you call it, variable on the end, and it swaps it out. It's independent of WordPress. It happens at the server level, and it swaps the image out, and serves a smaller image based on certain breakpoints. So if I go into Adaptive Images for WordPress, So I've got a few resolutions here. So 1024, 768, etc. So it creates its own cache directory in WP Content Cache Adaptive Images, and it looks in these directories. So when a browser is resized, it will bring in another image, and it works quite well. It does bring in smaller images. I wouldn't say that it's perfect. It's going to need some work to get this working well. If you go to, forget that, you can delete the cache, which I'm happy for you to do if you need to remove all the images to test new images coming through when you reload a page. And that is probably enough that I need to mention about that. If you've got any questions, let me know. The plugin author is responsive on his WordPress plugins page. If you have any questions regarding the plugin, I know a little bit, so you could ask me as well. I'd be happy to go to the plugin author if you have any questions to save you time. That would be fine. Okay, so the next one, inline small JavaScript. So I mean, I'm not an expert on any of this. I know I've got a working knowledge of everything. So where are we? Where's plugins? 1 second. In plugins, I've got auto optimize. I've tried many different minifying and what do you call it, where it joins them all together, all the files. Can't remember the name of it, but I found that this plugin works best with my website. I've made for some reason this is all grayed out. Optimized JavaScript code's off. I've had a developer working on this. Let me just pause the video and see if that's gone. So I've just turned that on and rerun the test, and it's a little bit different. So optimize images. It's talking about losslessly compressing for 81 kilobytes of to reduce it by 81 kilobytes over that many images. So I mean, it's next to nothing really. But I am going to try out a plugin to losslessly compress all the images, and hopefully I can get rid of this one. Getting back to it, defer parsing of JavaScript. So there's a couple of things there, and as I've mentioned, I use auto optimize. Minify JavaScript, once again, auto optimize, not too bad. Minify HTML, not too bad. So yeah, I mean, most of these are pretty good. Serve scaled images, I'm getting a complete F on that. So it's one of the main issues, I think, is the responsive images, adaptive images plugin and how it works. I have noticed, I'll just pause the video and come back to Google PageSpeed Insights. Here, one of the main gripes that PageSpeed Insights has is defer off-screen images, and I've got some pretty hefty images here for mobile. I've got some pretty hefty images, way too big for mobile size. So, as I said, the Adaptive Images plugin is meant to be optimizing. Where are we? Plugins. The Adaptive Images plugin is meant to be making these images smaller. And what I've discovered with it is that it uses the whole browser width. It's not based on individual images. So this image will probably resize quite well because it goes all the way. But these images, they don't get resized so much because we're talking about the entire browser width here. As you get into adaptive images, you'll learn all this for yourself. So that's a big issue. With this one's huge. So Flinders Ranges 735 by 1102. That's for Pinterest. This 735 by 1102 is the WordPress page for the Flinders Ranges. So I've got a 1200 by 630 Facebook image, and I've also got the 735 by 1102 Pinterest image, and I'm meant to provide Pinterest and Facebook the highest resolution files within reason. Like, these have been saved for web at 100% quality, because Pinterest and Facebook will then go and downsample these images. But having said that, here it looks like the full image is involved in the load, so maybe this needs to be pushed out of the first paint, or etc. I'll leave that to you, obviously. And so we've got this resolution on the end again for some images, 1360 by 720. But looking at this size, that size looks like what I would save this image out at anyway. So it's not really cutting down on the image size. So once again, the adaptive images plugin needs to be looked at, because we're getting some huge times here. Properly sized images. Once again, adaptive images. Serve images in next-gen formats. Like, I've got so many images. I've got like over 2,000 images. So I actually know a better way now to make images so that they're smaller, but it's moving forward. I can't go back and recreate the amount of images that I've got, but I am going to strip out metadata and try a few things with Kraken and see how I go with that. That's to be continued. I'm not there yet, because they've got technical issues sending me a registration email, so I can't try the product out yet. I've sent them an email to tell them that their servers aren't sending me the email. So efficiently encode images. So that's the 735 by 1102 again. So it's obviously thinking that hasn't been encoded, and it's not the case. Actually, I'll show you that. So on the Pinterest, so here, so these buttons here, so Pinterest, Facebook, and Twitter. So if I click on this, it will bring up the that Pinterest image for people to save. So it's not involved in the first load. It's when people actually click on this Pinterest button. So you get the idea. Same with Facebook. So they're not involved in the first load, so maybe they can be deferred. I'm not sure. I'll leave it to you. Eliminate render blocking. So I'm sure you're all over that. Auto optimize, however you need to do that. Reduce the time to first byte. So I'll leave that with you. Defer unused CSS, minify JavaScript. So I'll just pause the video and have a quick look if there's anything else. So here we have SG Optimizer, and down here, dynamic caching, level 2 caching, and memcached will be on. I've got devs working on that at the moment, and they're also turned on the server. Finally, so I use Google Libraries to load the fonts from Google, and WebCrafted Clearfire has a lot of things in it to just turn unnecessary WordPress features off. So that's essentially it, and I'll leave it over to you. Cheers.